Hey guys, what's up? Sermo11 here with my review of Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 10, aka the series finale of Samurai Jack. Now, I haven't done any reviews for this show. My friend actually suggested this as a review topic, but there weren't really any episodes that I had anything to say on. So, in addition to reviewing the last episode, I'll be going through a few things from the season as a whole, and if this video becomes too long, it'll be split up into two separate videos, but right now the plan is just to do one video on Samurai Jack Season 5. With that out of the way, let's jump right in. In the last episode of Samurai Jack, Aku brought out the part of himself in Ashi and made her attack Jack. And Jack refused to fight back after seeing that he could actually hurt Ashi, and he ended up getting captured. So this episode starts off with the aftermath of that whole situation. And all the people and creatures that Jack has met on his journey, they're watching Aku's broadcast. And I thought it was weird how all these different people and creatures, they all had TVs, like big flat screen TVs on the wall, just watching this go on, but who cares. And Aku, he's streaming the original Samurai Jack opening minus the rap, and I wish they could have gone full screen with the scene, but this is a great callback either way. Aku is thinking of ways to kill Jack, but he's having trouble, and Jack is begging Ashi for help. So Aku, he comes up with the idea of having Ashi kill Jack, and as she's about to kill Jack, the roof of Aku's lair explodes and all of Jack's allies come to help him. And this was a great scene to show all the friends that Jack has made throughout his journey. It seemed like Jack's friends weren't that helpful except for helping Jack escape from Aku. That was only what they did. What they were doing to Aku, like all their attacks and everything, they were just minor annoyances for Aku because Aku is just too powerful. And Jack, he's trying to get his sword back, but Ashi stops him. And Aku, he takes over some of Jack's allies, and he turns them into mini Akus. And you kind of have a war going on at this point. You have the mini Akus versus Jack's allies. And then you have Jack trying to get his sword and trying to dodge Ashi and all that. So the Scotsman, he comes flying by with his daughters also flying as well. I think this is because of the magic that he has now. And he's using the bagpipes, which hurt Aku's ears and everything and kind of distracts him for a second. And Jack and the Scotsman, they finally meet again after 50 years. And the Scotsman, he goes through all of his daughters. And I'm sure some fan site is actually paying attention. And they actually wrote down all of those names and have them listed on their site. I bet some fan site has that. I want someone to go check and see if someone has a list of all the Scotsman's daughters on there. And the Scotsman, he offers one of his daughters to Jack for like dating and marriage and all that. But Jack, he says that he's met someone and he points to Ashi and all that. And the Scotsman's like, I don't think she's your type. And mind you, Ashi's still akumatized at this point. That's a term from Miraculous, if you watch Miraculous. But I think it still fits here. And there was this cool scene where a stone samurai comes by and it's knocking Aku around for a little bit, but it's very obvious that Aku is stronger and has been the strongest character in the show since Jump Street. And Jack, he gets absorbed by Ashi and he's trying to stop her. And Aku, he gets upset and he rains spikes down on everyone, which ends up killing some of Jack's allies. I'm pretty sure he only killed the robots, but he might have killed some creatures that actually bleed, you know, but as far as I know, we only saw robots being killed on screen. Since Jack is inside Ashi's Aku form, she tells him that she can't fight Aku, but Jack says that he loves her before getting knocked out of her body, and she starts choking Jack, and then she stops and she starts to gain control over Aku's powers. And at this part in the finale, I was fine with what was going on. Everything was cool. And I'm not a big fan of having a war as your final episode or your final story arc just because of the fact that it's less personal and there are a lot of fights that won't get focus and all that. And I think the problem with this finale was when Ashi started using Aku's powers against him. So she's fighting Aku now, and they're pretty much tied. They have the same powers, and she grabs Jack's sword, and then they go back to the past immediately. Now, from a place of common sense, this was the right thing to do. Jack needs to go back to the past. They need to kill Aku. But I wish Ashi and Jack's realization about her new powers, I wish that would have come up later within the episode. I would have tweaked the plot a little bit here if I was writing Samurai Jack. So I would have the same thing where Aku, he rains the spikes down on everyone, and now it's up to Jack and Ashi to end this war. That's cool, but I would have preferred to have a one-on-one fight with Ashi and Aku that lasted a while, and then a fight with Jack and Aku that lasted for a while. Going straight into the time portal was a good move for the show, but I would have had Ashi realize that she could create time portals after fighting Aku. And there's a scene in the past where Jack is fighting Aku, and then Aku sends him to the future, and then Jack, the one that we've been following for the entirety of the show, he comes back to the past with Ashi, and Jack starts killing Aku immediately. Again, all of this makes sense, but this is another quick fight in the show, and it's just not really that intense. It's just Jack killing Aku, as he should have, but I wanted more. And if they had fought in the future during the war, I would have been fine with Jack coming back to the past and just killing Aku. But this scene, I don't know. I guess the common feeling for me during this finale was just like, this fight could have been better, this fight could have been better, this realization could have been handled better, but I guess those are minor problems. I wanted to see how the future changed without Jack and Aku being present in it. I'm sure it's nothing too important, but I thought it would have been a cool scene to include. After Jack ends up killing Aku, I'm sure there was some sort of time skip, and we see Jack, his dad, he's helping him get ready for his wedding, and then we see Jack's mother helping Ashi get ready for their wedding, and we see Jack waiting at the altar and Ashi walking towards him. They're both smiling, but she starts frowning, and I thought she was upset or something, but no, she falls over. Jack runs to her side, and she tells Jack that without Aku, she would have never existed, and then she disappears. And one thing I didn't understand about the finale was, why wasn't this brought up as soon as Aku died? Aku and Ashi are linked. I mean, Ashi is part Aku and she's also part human. So when Aku died, I feel like Ashi should have died as well. The show ends with Jack on a horse. He's riding along. He stops by this tree, goes under the tree. He looks at a ladybug, like how Ashi used to look at the ladybugs. And then the tree starts to bloom, and this, I guess, Asian music starts to play, and the show ends. Now I'm going to quickly get into some opinions about the finale and get into some opinions about the entire season of Samurai Jack. I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I thought this finale was okay. Some of the episodes that came before it were much better. Overall, this was a strong season for the show, but it wasn't so good towards the end. I thought the show became more than a cartoon during its final season due to its plot and its great action, but in the last two episodes when Aku started appearing, it felt more like a cartoon. And Aku is very powerful, and this has been very apparent throughout the entirety of the show, but when he's on screen, he brings an element to the show that makes it feel more comedic and less serious, while also giving a sense of impossibility. And I didn't really notice that Aku wasn't always around in Season 5 of Samurai Jack, because the episodes, they did well without having Aku play a big role in them. And I thought the episode where Ashi was the main character and saw the effects that Jack had on the world, I thought that was the worst episode of the season. And I feel like Ashi cannot handle a plot without Jack also being present. And it's just kind of boring with her as the lead. As I said before, Ashi dying makes a lot of sense from a time perspective, and I almost thought that they wouldn't do it. I thought they wouldn't kill Ashi, but I'm glad they did kill her off, because it makes sense in terms of time. I'm also glad that Jack actually went back to the past. Another thing that I thought they would have done was leave Jack in the future and have him build some sort of future with his friends and Ashi. And that would have been horrible, and I'm glad that he was dead set on his goal of getting back to the past, seeing his family, and undoing all this stuff that Aku has done. I've seen some hate for the romance between Ashi and Jack, but I don't really care what people have to say about that. I knew it was going to happen after she started staying around more, and people said that it felt more like a father and daughter relationship, but it really didn't. I did like how they had a whole episode dedicated to their romance, the romance between Jack and Ashi, and I'm glad that they got together because it made sense. The design of the characters in the show, they have always been unique, and I like the tigers with the shirts that change with their expressions. I also liked how Jack's character changed. You know, he's been in the future for 50 years. He's going to go crazy. He went crazy. He ends up killing a person, and that messes him up even more. And I like the fact that they had Jack develop. You know, he goes through a character arc before he returns back to Samurai Jack. And even then, he's still a little bit messed up after the whole situation. So I thought that was good. And then, like, the whole aspect, as I said before, killing one person on accident, and then he starts killing people because, like, he can't go back at this point. And then those people, the daughters of Aku, they wanted to kill him anyway. So it's either him dying or them dying. I like the fact that he kind of came to peace with the fact that he killed someone, and he had to continue to do it, otherwise he would have died. And overall, I really enjoyed Samurai Jack Season 5. I thought they did a good job of making the show more mature, but not too mature. The kids that watched the show in the past are adults now, and they can handle the humor and violence. Not every episode was great, but I liked the plot, and I loved how every episode led directly into the next. The Ashi and Jack romance was great, and I liked how they just kissed, you know, it just happened. And the final 2 episodes should have been longer to cover more plot, and the time after defeating Aku should have been given more attention, and I think Ashi and Jack should have had their own personal intense fights with Aku. The show got to a point where I'm not sure if Aku was even needed, and it almost felt better without him, but overall, the final season was great. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Surma11. See you next time, and peace out.